What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Amateur Moto Show. We've got a good one for you today. First and foremost, I do want to say that if you are a video content creator in the motocross world, we're looking for somebody to edit a 10 to 15 second intro for us of amateur moto, obviously. Gate drops, high intense racing, whatever it may be. Throw your logo on it, throw our logo on it, and we'll boost you up. We would love to showcase some of the video content creators in our industry. Today's guest is known for her skill, grit, and dedication, and has become a force in women's motocross, capturing the WMX title at Loretta Lynn's and dominating rounds in the Women's Pro Motocross Championship this year. Not only is she making moves on the track, she's also passionate about inspiring more women to get involved in motocross. We're excited to hear about her journey, her success, and her efforts to grow the sport for future female riders. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyleigh Stallings. Woo!
Thank you for having me on.
Dude, thank you so much for doing this. I know that you said you train Monday through Thursday, and today is your day off. We're recording this on Friday. I don't really know what day we're going to post it yet, but thank you so much for joining us on your day off.
Yeah,
How's everything going? I know you're getting ready for mini-O's. What's training like for you right now?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. We've just been riding some amateur supercross tracks to get ready for the amateur side, or the supercross side of mini-O's. And then next week we're going to test suspension for the outdoor side. So it's been pretty hardcore right now, just riding a lot and doing a lot of long motos to prepare myself for those long motos at mini-O's. I'm actually doing the B class. So it's going to be 20 minutes, I think. So it's going to be a pretty long moto.
Have you raced B class before?
Yeah. Last year I raced B class 250B. I actually got the whole shot.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen the video, but I went down the first straight, and I don't know if there was a hole or something that I didn't see. But I think the class before me actually did the same thing. But I went over the bars into the first straight, so it was still a cool video, and I still got the whole shot, but it was kind of a bummer. But
that's cool. It's way better than I would have done. I can't really ride dirt bikes anyway, being physically disabled. But even if I was able-bodied, I'm pretty sure you would kick my ass. It's fun to watch you rip. Obviously, dominating fashion in WMX, but then also to see you beat up on the boys, I can imagine is pretty fun for you too.
Thank you.
All right, so you mentioned amateur supercross. How are you feeling on the amateur supercross track? Do you prefer motocross, or what are your preferences there?
Honestly, I do prefer motocross. I feel like I'm more, skilled on the outdoor track. I haven't rode much amateur supercross, so when I get there, I'm just kind of trying to get through the supercross and then, hammer down for outdoors. But it's still fun, and I still have fun, but I definitely do prefer outdoors.
Yeah, there's a lot of tracks here in Texas that are building amateur supercross tracks, and next year there's going to be, I guess officially there's one this year, the Super Duper amateur supercross, which is now a state championship series for Texas, but amateur supercross is definitely picking up in popularity. And you're not that far north of us in Oklahoma, but what are your thoughts on amateur supercross?
I think that it's good for you. I think that it definitely goes into outdoors, and I think it helps a lot with outdoors with certain things like putting the bikes in the pockets. I think it's good for timing. I think there's definitely benefits from it. But me personally, I like outdoors, so I try to stay away from it. But no, I do think it definitely does help for sure.
For sure. Let's rewind a little bit. So you had said that you've been riding since you were 7. How did you kind of get into motocross, and where does motocross come from for you?
Yeah, so my dad used to actually road race when I was really young, and he brought me a P-Dub 50 home one day, and I started riding it. I rode with training wheels for a while, and then eventually he took them off, and I think the first day I I ran into a tree or something and didn't ride for years. And then I saw it sitting in my garage one day and was like, Dad, like, let's go ride. And he was like, really? Like, okay. So I started riding in a golf course, like, driving range field for like a year straight. And then we started doing little local races. And then we heard about nationals and we were like, we should try it. Just do like the younger girls classes. And I loved it and I did really well. So I just kept progressing from there and then just kept hitting all the nationals and then eventually got to Loretta's. But that's basically how it started.
So did you get back on it at 7, or was it like 8, 9 years old when you got back on it to start racing?
So I got on it when I was about 4 or 5, so pretty young, like where most people kind of start.
Yeah.
And then I got back on it when I was 7 or 8. And
Okay.
then
And then, so what was it like for you? I mean, it's obviously you're like 7 or 8 years old. Were you winning immediately, or did it take some time for it to click for you?
I think my first race I got second. It was a local race, but like for
Hey.
me that was cool. So
Yeah.
no, I think I started doing well at the beginning, and then I had a drive just to do better. When I would get third, I'd want to get second the next time, and then I just kept wanting to get better and better, and then eventually I started training at Raynard's, which helped me tremendously.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll talk about that a little bit too. But so you said that your dad was a road racer. Did you ever try to do any road racing, or was it strictly grass and dirt for you?
Strictly grass and dirt. He's always wanted to get me on like a Grom or something small just to try it. I don't know how well I would do with it just because it's so much different, but I've
Yeah.
definitely always wanted to try it. Just been a little scared, honestly, just because like it hurts to crash in motocross, but I could only imagine crashing on asphalt.
Yeah. I watch. I was trying to think of the name of it as you were talking, but I've started watching this little like MXGP type documentary where it follows some like Red Bull like younger recruits like trying to like move up in the ranks, and it's pretty cool. And my son Cooper, he first started on a little electric dirt bike, like riding in the streets, and I felt like he would love that. Just because sometimes he feels a little sketchy in the dirt with the bike moving around him and stuff like that. So, um, but he says that he doesn't want to try it. It looks like a fun sport though.
It
Does
does
your
look
dad
fun.
still ride?
He doesn't. No, he quit when I started taking it pretty seriously. Just because I don't know. I guess we didn't have time, or he had to work. So no, he doesn't still ride anymore.
Yeah, cool. So, what was your what was your favorite class to race since you've been racing?
I think that I really liked the girls' classes, but um, obviously racing the boys is a little bit different. But I really liked the super mini class. I felt like that was my time where the bike fit me really well. Everything was going really good for me, and I think that's where I excelled the most in the super mini class. And the competition was always really good, and I always had a lot of fun battling with everybody. So I think that was definitely my favorite class and my favorite bike for sure. If I could get back on super minis, I could. I
Yeah.
would.
Do you feel is there or what is the difference? So you mentioned that you enjoy racing the ladies in WMX. What is the biggest difference for you in racing strictly WMX versus racing with the boys?
Yeah, I think it's more aggressive racing the boys. I think that obviously we're at a disadvantage because the strength is so much different from the women's class versus the boys' classes.
Right.
So also, there's usually more guys on the gate, so it's the nerves are a little bit more high. But yeah,
Do you I mean, it sounds like you do still get nervous, and I'd imagine so. But how do you deal with those nerves, or how do you deal with the pressure whenever you line up against whether it's guys or a stacked WMX skate? How do you deal with those pressures?
Usually I try to like get myself in a different like mindset and maybe like step away in staging or go do something else to get my mind off of it. And really just think about that I'm not the only one that's nervous. That helps me the most. And know that all I can do is do my best and that yeah, just try to get my mind in a different mind state and
Do you like to be left alone as you're getting ready and staging, or do you like to have the mechanic or mental coach in your ear?
I think that it helps me more when I'm talking to people. So I like when everybody talks to me, and when my dad or my mechanic gives me like a pep talk on the gate, and it helps me get my mind off of it instead of me just like thinking, just sitting there by myself thinking.
Do you
Um,
ever you ever throw some tunes on any music to get you in the zone?
no, I don't. But like when I'm getting dressed, I'll throw on some like country music or something. I try to keep it like some calm music, or my adrenaline will start going if I listen to anything else. But
Are you speaking of country music? Quite the drama going on right now. Are you keeping up with the Brianna chicken fry and what's his name? Zach Bryan, I guess.
Zach Bryan, I see it all over my TikTok. I'm honestly like not a huge Zach Bryan fan, so I kind of go for more like older country. It's kind
Yeah,
of embarrassing, but like George Strait or
that's not
Keith
embarrassing.
Sweat.
You're in Oklahoma and Texas, like that's country music right there.
Well, that's what I grew up around, so I usually just listen to whatever my dad and grandpa listens to.
Yeah, some Waylon Jennings, some Hank Williams.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Country music today is so weird. Like,
So
uh,
weird.
you got Taylor Swift singing country, Beyonce singing country. It's a weird space, but definitely respect the George Strait in the old '90s. Pure Country. Did you ever watch that movie, Pure Country?
I haven't, no.
Oh my God! So if you're a George Strait fan, you got to watch Pure Country. It's a throwback '90s, kind of like shows him. Well, I don't really know if it's George Strait. I know George Strait is the actor, but I don't think it's George Strait's story. It's just a country music movie. It's
I'll
pretty
have to
good.
check that out.
All right, so what does training look like for you? I know you said that you train Monday through Friday, not, or, I'm sorry, Monday to Thursday, 9 to 4. What does a typical day look like for you?
So it kind of depends on the week and where we're at with racing. If there's a race coming up, right now it's pretty hardcore. We do gym at 8 on Mondays, and then we ride from 9 to 3 ish, and then Tuesdays we do gym at 7:30, ride till 3, and then we'll either mountain bike or run after, and then basically that the rest of the week. Unless it's the end of the month, we have like a layoff week at the end of the month where we kind of keep it chill. But those first 2 weeks of the month are pretty hardcore, especially in the Oklahoma heat for Loretta's. It's pretty gnarly when it's almost 105 outside and you're
Yep.
sitting on the gate just baking, about to do some starts. It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah. Are you doing any off-track training, like any like mental coaching or anything like that?
I used to when I was younger, and I think it really helped me. I've been looking into it because I think that it would help my nerves on the gate. But I've definitely looked into it, but I'm not doing it at the moment. No.
Yeah, I think that's such a big aspect of the sport, in any sport, honestly. But whenever you have like solo athlete sports, racing, even like something like it's completely different from moto, but like golf, um, those sports are so mentally challenging that yeah, it's fascinating to me. There are a lot of younger riders that look up to you, obviously, for what you're doing. Who are some of the people in the sport that you look up to? Who motivates you or who inspires you to be better?
I think that I really look up to Trey Kennard. Obviously, my trainer as well, Robbie Raynard. I've known Trey since I was really young, and I know he doesn't race professionally anymore, but I see him almost every single day. I saw him yesterday. I was with him yesterday, and I just think that he has such a good outlook on the sport, and he's always so positive. And I honestly just strive to be like that. And always try to stay positive and keep my good image and be like him. So yeah, that's who I really look up to, and I've always looked up to him since I was 7. So
Yeah. How? What is it? What is it like to whenever you have all these younger female athletes in the sport messaging you or coming up to you to your race, like knowing that all of these eyes are looking up to you? How does that make you feel?
it makes me feel really good, especially when I was little. I know how it feels. Like I looked up to honestly the girls I'm still racing to now, like Jordan Jarvis. I looked up to her and Hannah Hodges, who I race still, and I know how it feels. And I just like I say try to keep my good image and respond to everybody as best as I can, and try to interact when I'm at the races when I can, and just try to be an all in all good person and show that it's not intimidating to talk to the older girls. And yeah.
Yeah. Um, so how big of a distraction can it be if you're at an event like Loretta's or Minio's or even the pro motocross round? How much of that do you dedicate time to speaking to fans and then just locking in, or did you just kind of just go with the flow?
Yeah, so we normally have like autograph signings after the races at a certain time, which is a good time for me to talk to everybody. And then sometimes they'll find me at the pit or walking around, and I'll talk to people. There's not really a dedicated time, but when they do come up to me, obviously I'm going to talk to them. And then if I'm locked in and in race mode, I'm usually in my camper, like listening to country music, or if it's lock-in time, like I'm nowhere to be seen. But as soon as I can, like I'm out trying to talk to everybody and hanging out, talking to sponsors. So yeah, it's definitely good to be seen when you're not racing and talking to
Do you
everybody.
do you like to go watch the racing as well, or whenever you're between motos, or are you just in the camper chilling out?
Yeah, if it's in between my motos, normally I have it on the TV and I'm watching on TV just to. I think it's good to look at lines and know where all the good lines are. But if it's in between my motos, I won't walk out there just because it's so hot outside, especially during like outdoor nationals. And I just try to stay inside and keep my body temperature down. But if it's after my motos, then I'm definitely out there watching with everybody.
What are you doing? What are you doing between motos to keep the body hydrated and fed? Do you have any like superstitious snacks, or what are your favorite things? What are your favorite go tos?
Yeah, so I usually don't eat very much on race day. So I try to eat like maybe a snack or something small, like fruit or something, to just something in my stomach in between races. And then obviously I hydrate all day, liquid IV. Sometimes I'll drink a protein shake, just something to have in my stomach. Just because sometimes I get nervous and it doesn't feel great when I'm eating. Um,
Yeah.
but before the races start, and then the night before, I'll load up on some carbs or just something to get my body fueled for the day.
My favorite at I'm the same way. Even well, I don't race obviously, but when my son races, I don't like to be eating at the track, but um, can't go wrong with some nice cold green grapes. Green grapes. And then, I've recently, I know like these have been out for a while, but the Uncrustables, little strawberry peanut butter Uncrustables, dude, I could slam those. They're so good.
Are you a green grape guy or a purple grape guy?
Well, I think I'm more of a green grape guy, but we had a little family get together the other night, my wife's family, and they had some red grapes. Wait, do you call them red grapes or purple grapes? I don't. What
I
red
purple.
grape? Purple, yellow, or not yellow, purple, red, whatever they are. But they were actually pretty good. I feel like I like the green grapes more because I like when they're like so crisp that they like pop in your mouth, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't normally find red grapes like that, but man, the ones that our family get together, they were delish. They were so crisp.
Yeah, the purple ones are definitely better for me just because they're so much like sweeter.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, for sure, definitely a little bit sweeter. So you're more of a red grape. Any other go to fruits? Are we hammering some bananas or mangoes or strawberries, anything like that?
Yeah, definitely bananas. I try to eat one like every morning before I ride, so I I think it definitely helps. Even if I'm not eating very much, I can still tell when I eat one.
Gotta have that potassium to
Yeah.
knock down the cramp. Cool. All
Yep.
right, so um, congratulations on your success as of recently going back to back Loretta's WMX. Is that right?
Yes.
And then obviously WMX at Pro Motocross. Um, what was that like? Obviously, so Loretta's trying to go back to back. You have the wreck in Moto 3 to fight back. What's going through your head whenever you have that wreck?
So going into Moto 3 of Loretta's this year, I only had to get fourth, I think, to win overall. So
Right.
I was pretty calm going into that moto, and even when I did fall, I still knew that I had plenty of gap in between me and fifth, I think it was.
Right.
I don't know if you watched that race, but I think I got the whole shot and didn't let them by, but definitely didn't fight them off because I'm the kind of rider that if I know I can win overall with a fourth, then I'm not going to push myself and make a mistake and lose that title. So I kind of let them do their thing, and I just kind of hung back and forth and just took the title home as best as I could.
Do you have well, I mean, obviously you have a mechanic. Are you reading the pit board on your way by, or are you just locked in and hammering down?
Yeah, I read the pit board just because I kind of want to know like how far the person behind me is and like I guess what the mechanic is thinking. Like if I think last or this year he said something like you've got to go or something like that, but I knew I didn't have to go. Like I knew I was fine. But I think he was a little scared because I was on that edge position where I could lose the title. But um,
Right.
yeah, I always try to read the pit board.
So every round or every lap by, you try to read it, or yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What are what's your favorite thing to see on the pit board? Is it like motivation? Is it the smiley faces? Is it lap times? Is it position?
I think it's more like goofy stuff. I think kind of to take the not take the seriousness out of it, but take the seriousness out of it. So
Yeah.
I like when it's like so Mike Faulkner actually mechanics for me at Loretta's. So and we've always been really close. He's worked for me for a while now. So he'll give me like a heart or a smiley face or just something sweet and it'll kind of just make me have more fun almost.
I love that. My son is 8 years old, and he's like, "Dad, can we start using the pit board?" I'm like, "Cooper, you can barely read as it is. What do you want me to like put on the pit board as you're walking by or riding by? Do you want me to do like a smiley face or just let you know what position you're in?" I'm
That's
like,
funny.
and then I don't want to be like, I want to do it because that little bit of confidence and like let him have fun. But then I don't want to be the only 50 dad out there with a pit board thinking like I'm that crazy 50 parent that my kid has to be reading the pit board. I need like a sign on the back of my shirt that says my kid wants the pit board.
That's so
Um,
funny.
so people don't think I'm like the crazy 50 dad that's out there yelling at their kids. Um, what has been your toughest mental battle that you've experienced, and how did you overcome that?
I think that I went through a period of time where I really doubted myself and doubted if I was good enough to race the boys class and um, eventually I just put my head down and just started riding good and I think that really held me back a little bit with my speed. Also I'll get into like a periods of time where I kind of the same thing really. Um, this is a hard question. Really, the
What is
nervousness stuff gets to me a lot, and the whole mental part of it gets to me pretty bad. But I just have to push through it and overcome that, and know what I'm capable of doing, and just get through it.
yeah? Why is it so important for you? I mean, you could easily just lock in on your training, lock in on your racing. Why is it so important for you to be an ambassador to other females in the sport and to help grow that? Why is it so important to you?
I think that it's important because obviously, I want to grow the sport and for women, and I think it's important because we want to fill these gates. And like I said earlier, like your image is important. So, yeah, really just filling these gates and getting more women in the sport would be awesome. And, getting more opportunities for women, which obviously takes more women for the sport. So I think the more women there are, the more opportunities there are for us.
Yeah. Um, do you feel like, or where do you feel like the state of motocross is right now as it pertains to women? Are we bringing more women in, or are we just kind of like staying the
Yeah,
same?
I think it's going good right now. I think we're definitely gaining more women since they added the WMX class, and they're doing it at the Pro Nationals now. So I think it's definitely adding a lot more women and kind of getting a lot more women's attention. Like, um, yeah, just really adding a lot more because of that. And I hope it keeps adding more, and I hope more people see the WMX auto rounds and are more interested in trying it. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's definitely growing.
So to piggyback on that, one of our viewer questions, one of them said that they wanted to get your thoughts on girls getting an extra year in all 50 and 65 classes. They believe that a lot of girls walk away as AMA 9-year olds facing the move up to the 65 class, and AMA 12-year olds facing the 85 class. Do you think that, or what are your thoughts on that? I mean, so the 50 classes would be 50cc. I'm trying to think what my son races. 50cc 7 to 8. So girls could race 50s and up to AMA 9. And then in the 65 class, that caps out at 11, right? So that they would be able to ride the 65 up to AMA 12. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that they definitely have a point there. I was never really in the nationals when I was that young, but they definitely do have a point. I see a lot of girls moving up because of their age when they're really not big enough for the bike that they're moving up to, and I think that is definitely important to have that extra year just to grow into the bike and be strong enough for the bike. Because the last thing you want to do is get on a bike that's too big for you and something happen because it is too big. But no, I definitely think they do have a good point. And if you're not big enough for the bike, then I don't know what you would do now. Since maybe just take another year to get used to it, and then start racing again when you're old enough. Um, but yeah,
That's
they
tough.
have, yeah.
Yeah, it's I whenever so this question came from Dylan Gibbs Moto. Um, I it is very interesting because there's that line between catering, and then there's a line between in and then just actually like doing good things for the sport. So the more I thought about it, I was like, man, that really is an interesting. I think it is a good idea because even my I have friends that have daughters that race, and it can be intimidating sometimes to go against the boys, especially at a younger age. Now that you're older, you're mentally stronger, and you know that you can beat the boys. But at a younger age, it's not easy to overcome that mentally and to give them the extra year. I think it's definitely something that should be discussed.
Yeah, for sure.
Our next question, which we kind of hit on this a little bit, so if we have to repeat some of it, it's totally okay. Comes from Miss Peyton McCluskey. Shout out McCluskey Performance, Jesse and Jason. Um, Peyton says, first, thanks for always being so encouraging and friendly to me and other girls in the sport. We are lucky to have you near Texas. My question is, what advice do you have for the younger female generation as we navigate similar situations you've encountered coming up through the ranks in a predominantly male sport?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I've known Peyton for a while, so but
She rips, she rips
yeah,
too.
yeah, she does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say obviously it's intimidating racing the boys, and I struggled with this too, but really just look past that, and so that's all you can do. Look past that, and not not act like you're a boy. I'm not saying that, but in your head, you just gotta not put those excuses in your head. You gotta say, like, I'm just as capable as these guys, and I can do just as much. Just because I'm a girl doesn't mean anything, and really look past that. Is all I can say. It's a really tough one to get over, and I think a lot of girls struggle with this for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's I can't imagine. Obviously, I don't have any skin in that game. I can't imagine what it must be like. But um, I'm a big um, I'm a big supporter of mental strength and mental coaching. So I had a conversation one time with a parent. I think this was probably 2 years ago when we were first getting in. But there was it was a race that we were at, and it was an air cooled class instead of a shaft drive class. So you could ride a pit bike basically in this class. And there was a little girl on a pit bike, a little Honda CRF 50 versus a P Dub. And I was I didn't mean to be offensive at all, but I was like, man, she would probably be better if she had an actual P Dub and wasn't trying to shift gears out there. And the dad said she's a girl, she needs all the help she can get. And I was like, what? Like, you should be encouraging her to be like, even though she is a girl, to be out there like kicking ass. And
Yeah, like my dad's always sorry.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
My dad's always like he's never seen me in the boys class any differently. Like we still have expectations. We still want to get top 10 in the B class, and there's always the same amount of expectations going into any class I'm going into. And yeah, he I think he tries to not make it any different for each class.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, well, I don't want to say obviously because not all boys out there are strong. But at your age, racing at 18, the boys are stronger. They can handle that bike a little bit better. But once yeah, I guess once you get that taste of the throttle and start whooping up on those boys, it changes the game for you. When did you have you ever had like any altercations with boys that like try to give you trouble or anything like that, and then you just smoke them on the track, and that's how you shut them up?
Um, no, but like I'll have a guy like talk crap or say something that's not nice off the track, and then I'll go and beat them on the track, and it's like, and then they stop because like, what do they have to talk about now? Like, they're not gonna say that I beat them now, but or like on the track, sometimes me and guys will get into it, like a guy will yell at me, and like I'm not the kind of person that's just gonna let a guy I'm racing yell at me, so I'm I don't hold back when they're mean to me, just because I don't let them walk all over me. But yeah,
Right.
definitely
You
some crap
shouldn't.
talk off the track. But I try to
I can't
warm up
imagine
on the track.
you. You seem so nice, and I was even having a conversation with Ian Gray, the owner at Cycle Ranch. I had a talk with him on Monday, and he was just talking about how nice you are, and like even like if you have a race where you accidentally almost take somebody out, that you're very apologetic, and you don't want that image. But
Yeah.
I can't even imagine you shit talking another boy because you just seem like so nice and like, oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Do you do you who what is your favorite trash talking?
I don't know if it would be trash talking, but if like if a guy like yells at me on the track, like I'm gonna yell at them back. They might not hear me, but I'm gonna yell at you back if you yell at me. Or on the gate, I do something. It's kind of funny. I'll look at the person next to me and I'll be like, "Hey, I'm going right out of the gate," like just to mess with them.
Just to
And
mess with.
obviously, I'm kidding and I don't go right on them, but sometimes I'll do that just to mess with them, and then it'll be funny because sometimes I'll get the whole shot after I say that, and it's funny when I like to mess with them, but not too mean. I try not to be too mean, but maybe try to get in their head a little bit.
Never hurts to get in the head a little bit. Just to jab them up. What are your obviously with the success that you've had with the pro motocross and Loretta's? What are your goals? where do you see yourself in 3 years, 5 years? What are we trying to accomplish?
Yeah, so obviously I would love to keep continuing to grow the sport. Race for as long as I can, really. They are bringing back the WMX series now, so race that and maybe
Very
race
cool.
some of those races and do all that, the whole series, and stay in the amateur races for maybe another year or so. But when it is my time to be done racing, I still want to stay in the industry and still be doing my ladies and moto camps to grow the sport for women and stay in the industry, whether it's to work for a sponsor or something like that. But I've always loved the sport, so I'll always be in the industry no matter what. But all-time goal is to keep growing the sport, and yeah.
Hypothetically, if you weren't doing motocross, what would you be doing?
Mm, I've never been asked this before. I'd probably this is so like everybody does this, but I've always wanted to be a hairdresser, like do cosmetology school to do hair or just something girly like that. Because when I'm not off the track, or when I'm not on the track, I'm either doing my hair, getting my nails done, just stuff like that. So I don't see myself being out of the sport, but if I was, I would probably be doing something like that.
That's interesting that you say that. So are you still the girly girl when you're not on the track, or are you the tomboy?
Yeah, I would say I'm a girly girl. When I was younger, I was definitely tomboy, but yeah, I would say I'm definitely a girly girl. I wear dresses when I'm off the track. I've always liked to dress up, so yeah.
Do we go get the mani pedis?
Oh yeah, all the time. I
The,
actually have an appointment tomorrow.
nice. I'll throw myself under here. I like a good petty. I'll go with my. We haven't gone in a while. Just trying to save money. Everything's so expensive these days. But you know, guys that hate on other guys that get pedicures have just never gone to get a pedicure, because what can be worse than somebody giving you a nice little leg massage, little foot massage? I mean, they might be talking shit about you in some different language because of how stanky your feet are, but it's worth it, honestly.
Yeah, I hear guys talking crap about it all the time, and I'm like, me and my dad will go all the time. Like, it's so normal for guys to get their feet done, but
Yeah. No,
yeah,
it's
I don't see why not. They're hating for no reason.
the only thing I hate about it is that when it's done, my feet feel so slippery,
Yeah,
just from all the lotion, or well, I don't know, but that part freaks me out. But the massage chair, the hot water, I mean, you can't beat it.
yeah.
So what is you're off on Friday. What do you like to do to just kind of disconnect? Are there any like fun activities you like to go do? Golf or any other I say golf, I don't know why I said golf.
Yeah.
Any other fun activities you like to do?
If I'm not hanging out with my mom, which is what I'm usually doing on the weekends, I'll go with some friends to the pump track or stuff like that, just because I think that helps me on the bike a lot. Just like riding BMX bikes, I feel like helps. But if I'm not with my mom, getting my hair done or nails done or something, I'm usually there, and then doing like school, getting a lot of school done when I'm off the bike, and um, yeah, nothing. I don't really have that many hobbies unless I'm out on the lake surfing or when it
Oh,
gets
see that.
colder. Yeah, when it gets colder, I snowboard. So but as of right now, usually just the pump track and going out to hang out with friends or my mom or something.
We're gearing up. It's starting to get colder, dude. I think it was like 40 degrees this morning when I was taking my son to school this morning. How do you feel about riding in the winter?
I definitely prefer riding in the summer a lot, because I don't know if I'm sensitive to it, but I'll show up to the track to ride and I'll have like three hoodies on and the other kids will have none, and I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I'm dying right now. But no, I definitely prefer riding in the summer just because I get cold really easy. So
Yeah, yeah, you can tell that I'm not built for cold weather. So like I'm layered up too, and I'll be like in the car with the heater on, we'll let that car run all day. And I do the same thing in the Texas summer. Like, we'll let the car run basically the whole time we're at the track for the air conditioning. But yeah, getting ready for the winter series racing here in Texas, and I'm kind of thinking like, man, it'd be nice to do some arena cross or something, just so that we're not having to trying to bear the cold temperatures.
Yeah,
Do you have you ever done any arena cross or anything like that?
I did when I was younger. I did. There was a race at the Lazy E Arena. It was called like Mini Majors, maybe. I don't know. They had a race always at that place, and I would always go there and race. And then once they took it away, I stopped going and started focusing on the outdoor nationals, or the amateur nationals. But yeah, I did when I was younger, but I wasn't a huge fan of it, just because, kind of like I said, I'm not a huge fan of like the supercross-ish style stuff. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
It's there's a couple arena cross series. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think we're going to try to hit the AMA Arena Cross Championships in Guthrie, not too far from you guys there in Oklahoma. So
yeah, I'll be
it'll
there.
be fun. You'll be there.
I'm not gonna race, but I'll be there hanging out and talking to everybody. But yeah, I
Dude,
usually
yeah, we'll have to connect, and I really want to do. Like, I'm here in a studio right now. Shout out Blank Studios in Fort Worth, Texas, in a dedicated podcast studio. But I think it would just be so fun to take this show on the road to events, and bring on riders, young and old. I think that to give them a platform to practice their podium speeches or like shout out sponsors to help them in any way. I just think that'd be so fun. So when we do that, if I'm gonna catch up to you in Guthrie, okay?
yeah.
All right, let's talk about we've got Ladies of Moto, still doing that. Let's talk about that a little bit and what you have going on there.
Yeah, so as of right now, we have not scheduled our next camp or ride day. We've done a couple ride days at Oak Hill, and some camps around Texas, like Freestone. We did one at TTMX just recently. We've done one at Three Palms. We've done a couple down here in Texas. So we're just right now, we're going to get through Minios, and then we're going to start talking about dates for our beginning of the year camps. They've been doing really well, so we're just trying to grow them more and more. And Lex Clark has been helping me with that. She's been really good, and she's been doing a lot of work for me, and I appreciate her a lot. So
Yeah,
she's
we love.
there, and yeah, we love Lex. So yeah, we go to different tracks and find a trainer for each camp now. But yeah, it's been good, and like I said, just continue to grow them. Really, it's all we
Yeah.
can do.
Shout out to Van Martin as well down at TTMX. Great crew down there. Um, what have those camps been like? What does a typical Ladies of Moto camp look like for you guys?
Yeah, so we plan it about a couple months in advance. Start getting shirts and advertising it pretty early. And then at TTMX, we actually had the cabins, or the rooms, I guess, the bunk rooms, open. So we filled all of those. So there were like 30-something girls filled
That's awesome.
in the bunk rooms. Yeah. So we planned it really far in advance and start advertising it early. And
And
then
whenever you have those events, are you coaching yourself or are you riding with the girls?
I ride, and then I'll point out some things. I'm not really a coach, so I try to just ride with them and have fun. Maybe I'll point out a couple things, but I leave it up to the trainers, really. And if they need my help, I will. But yeah, usually I leave it up to the trainers.
So
But
no motocross coach Kyleigh in the future or what?
maybe in the future. But for now, we're gonna get through the racing part, and if I decide to do some coaching, I will. But probably nothing too crazy. But yeah, that's definitely an idea for sure.
Nice. Well, um, hold on. I just lost my train of thought. The beautiful thing about this is that we can cut it out in editing. Um, so okay, so you're getting ready to leave for Minios. What does that look like? When are you headed to Florida?
I think we leave in about a week or so. We got an Airbnb. We're gonna stay with some friends and be there for a while. So I still gotta test suspension, like I said, and next week test some suspension, and then we'll leave from there. And then after Minios, I take probably a month off. It's deer season, so it's hunting time down in Texas. So I'll go to the deer release after that. But
Oh, see, you hunt. See, that's something that you do away from the track. That's hunting.
oh yeah,
Do you only deer hunt, or do you do anything else?
yeah. We only deer hunt where we hunt at, but we own a bunch of land down in it's called Alto, Texas.
Oh yeah,
Um, So yeah, we own a bunch of land down there, and I've been hunting since I was little. So it's something I love to do in my off season. So
cool. One thing that we didn't talk about that I want to talk about a little bit is Reynolds. Obviously, you've been training a long time. Can you just kind of talk about what that has been like for you and how impactful that has been in your career?
yeah, so I started training at Raynard's 8 years ago. So I've been there for a long time, and really, I started really young there. So I got there when Colt Nichols was there, Austin Faulkner, Benny Bloss, Justin Bogle. When they were all out there, I was there, and I was on my 65, about to get on my 85. So I got to ride with them when I was really young, which is something that I think helped me a lot because when they were training for outdoors doing 30s, I was just now getting on 85s and I was doing 30s. So I think that definitely impacted me in a really good way and helped me get comfortable riding with the faster guys fast. So yeah, and Robbie's always been really good to me, and I've never really trained at any other training facility. So yeah, he's always been good to me, and his dad Robert does my suspension, which is really nice because he's always there and can watch me ride and see what my suspension is doing. So there's so many benefits of me being there. I only live 45 minutes from there, so it's a really good place for me, and I've always loved it.
That's awesome. Let's take some time to thank some sponsors, the people that help make this happen the most for you. Who's in your support corner, and who do we need to thank?
Yeah, I get my bikes from Ajax Motorsports. They've helped me out so much, and since I was really young, even when I was on Husqvarna's, they were helping me. So them, and then I go through Ryan Holiday with Kawasaki, and he helps me a lot. Monster Army helps me. Fox, everyone from Fox, really, all the Fox reps like Matt, Austin, Kenny Day, all those guys help me a lot. Roost, Christina from Roost, which is my graphics, they've helped me for a while. Tamer helps me with my whole shot devices, CTIs, which I just got a new set of CTIs, and they're American flags, so they're sick. Really, everybody that helps me, it's couldn't really be here without them, and it's really opens my eyes to see how much they do help me, and I couldn't be where I am today without them.
That's awesome. Love that. So, one thing that we didn't talk about I think we talked about this pre-recording. So, amateurmoto.com stats. I think it's interesting to look at stats and what people do. 370 races, 217 podiums, and 38 wins. Just so you know, that's a 57% podium rate. Just from the races that it shows um, on amateurmoto.com, which is a great resource. Those of you that are watching, if you need help building a rider resume, or you're curious about how your son or daughter is performing, and then maybe those that the racing is performing, you can go in there and look up rider stats. It's pretty cool. But a 57% podium rate. I didn't check the win percentage. Maybe I should have done that. Pretty awesome. Obviously, I think that's a true testament to the support system that you do have. So we always want to take the opportunity to thank those that make it happen for you. After Minios, what's next?
We are going to take about a month off, and then there's some races in the works right now, maybe some overseas races, but they're still in the works, so we're going to take the month off. Then we're going to train the beginning of the year and train pretty hard for spring nationals, and then, like I said, maybe that overseas race. Yeah, just
nice little teaser.
but yeah, just take some time off and then start going hardcore again beginning of the year.
Love that. Well, Kyleigh, thank you so much for talking with us on your day off. Sorry to. Are you a morning person or afternoon person?
More like a night person, but it wasn't too early because we started at 9:30, so it wasn't too bad for me. But definitely more of a night owl for sure.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and would love to get you back on after maybe in your downtime or maybe after your overseas racing. We can get you back on and talk about how all that's going.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions for Kyleigh, what is Kyleigh Stallings 213 on Instagram? Are you on Facebook as well? You're not on Facebook very much.
I'm not on Facebook very much. I really don't even know what my username is. I assume the same thing. But no, I'm more on Instagram, TikTok. But no, it's Kyleigh Stallings 213 on Instagram.
Kyleigh Stallings 213 on Instagram. If you have any questions, shoot her a DM. She is on the track training Monday through Thursday and getting ready for Minios. But thank you so much for joining us. And guys, thank you for watching the Amateur Moto Show. We'll see you next time. That's why I've got show cards. Now I can throw them like that and be cool. All right, Kyleigh, we'll see you.
Thank you.